cut in my first MMA fight. This one wasn't a hard punch, but the way, when 4-ounce gloves are so thin, it just grazed right here. I don't know if you can see the scar still. It's
Boom.
Yes, come on in.
Thanks.
Come on in. We're all training right now.
Isaiah, nice to meet you.
Isaiah, good to meet you too.
Yeah. I'm finishing up some background. 4 more.
Okay. That was intense. You're a beast.
Oh man.
I can see why they call you the monster.
The Monsterella.
The
There's a
monster.
story behind that. So my first MMA fight, like before you fight, the ringside announcer comes up to you and asks you like, oh, what's your name, what's your record, how tall are you, this and that. My first MMA fight, the ringside announcer comes up to me, he's like, what's your nickname? And I don't have one yet. And he was like, Martorella, because that's my last name. And at the time I was gonna just say, oh, like my nickname's mozzarella, like the cheese. Like
That's not as tough as.
No, it's not as tough. Mozzarella, like my Italians on here know. But the announcer, Chuck, if you're watching from Art of War, he was like, what about Monsterella? And I'm getting my hands wrapped and I'm like, yo, that's nice. And like, Isaiah's my husband. And then my coach, Evan. And like we all 3 of us looked at each other and we were like, yeah, let's go with it. So that's how that nickname was born.
Yeah, more and more.
I just stuck with it.
Yeah, I hear fighters getting given names. Like,
yes.
like
yes.
they like show up for the fight and then they're like, I don't know. And then like Fierce Honey, I was interviewing her. She's like, I don't know, somebody gave it to me and it stuck. So
yeah. No, I mean I think sometimes like the best nicknames are the ones that are kind of like given to you, or they're like almost earned in a way.
Yeah.
Because I
Well, you are a monster, so you have earned it.
yeah. So like we made this like Hall of Fame of like pictures from everyone at the gym. This is Evan. Evan Chmielewski is the owner and head coach of the gym. He's a former pro fighter. That was my first one. That was with the cut. This was my first fight. Look at this.
So happy.
Yeah. You have tough days, right? And you forget, it's hard to push through, but I look at my teammates and my coaches on the wall and I remind myself, okay, like it sucks now, but these pictures, they represent, and it's a photo, it's an instant in time, but they represent a lot of the hard work that you're doing in here right now. This was my last fight, actually. That was my last fight. That was 6 weeks ago. Like being in a fight, it's fun. It's really fun, but it does a number to you, like emotionally. Even if you win, you lose, it affects you in some way.
Because you're weight cutting and all that stuff
Yeah.
and training all the time.
You put a lot of your mental and spiritual, emotional energy into this one night, and when it's done, whether you win or you lose, there's a party that feels really empty afterwards. And it's like, it makes you take a step back and really ask yourself, like, what am I fighting for? Like, why do I fight?
Why do you fight?
Why do I fight? Oh. That's a good answer. Good question. There's a few reasons. So, I fight out of obedience almost. And what I mean by that is like, I've struggled with an eating disorder for much of my life. 10 years of my life. And, I've always been an athlete. I swam in college. I swam for 13 years. Went into some other sports and then got into martial arts through my husband. And when I got into martial arts, I was at a really bad time in my eating disorder. And just the thought of being in a sport that was so physical, like fighting, didn't ever think I would be healthy enough for something like this, that I could have this good relationship with my body and food again, especially in a weight cutting sport. I had to be very careful before I started fighting to make sure I was in the right spot mentally with my body and with food. And for a while, sports became this thing for me, and exercise in general was this thing for me where I would use it to hurt myself instead of to make myself a better person. And sports and relearning how to move my body in constructive ways that make me feel loved by myself and just make me feel good in my body. Like once I reached that place, I had to fight to just pay respect to that, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense, but what helped me get here wasn't just the fighting, it wasn't just the people around me, they helped me, but I consider myself Christian, and once I was able to surrender to my God, he really helped me see outside of that and helped me just to learn how to be an athlete again and really love it. This is what I love about myself. I love this. I get to do this. I don't have to. I get to go in a ring and fight someone because I want to, and because I want to celebrate, my ongoing battle and my ongoing victory from an eating disorder. So that's why I fight. And, I think as long as I have that in my life, I will always have something to fight for. And that's what makes me dangerous. I have that fire burning, and I'm continually reminded in training of how hard I had to push, how hard I had to work through these steps in recovery. It's, training is like that, it's that journey that you go through in recovery. If you're a recovering addict, if you're recovering from any sort of process addiction, you know steps. Maybe it's your 12 steps, whatever it is, but training really symbolizes that. The good days, the down days, the wins, the losses. But you keep coming back because you have to. And that's why I fight. That's why I fight. Okay. Let me check this out.
Oh my goodness, that's your logo.
It is.
And if somebody wants to check it out, where can they find you?
So I have, this is a side thing, this isn't anything that's official or anything, but All You Need, Bread & Co. on Instagram. It's All You Need, but need is K-N-E-A-D.
Ah, that's clever.
It's funny, right? Yeah, because good bread's all you need. A former client of mine, you see these stamps?
Yeah.
A client of mine got these custom made for me.
Oh,
so I stamped these on my bread bags.
Oh, that's so great.
Isn't that cute? Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you got some personal branding going on. Look at that.
Yeah. And
bread is the staff of life. I mean.
Well, and for me, bread has also become another way of paying respects of my recovery journey, because being in a kitchen used to be so scary. Opening the fridge, wondering what am I going to eat? No, I can't have that. This is I'm past that. So the kitchen is a fun place. It's a place of enjoyment now. And I've always loved bread. Bread is a love language to me. So I'm obedient to God by baking bread and nourishing other people.
So what's more gratifying? Landing a solid head kick or baking the perfect sourdough?
Oh, I'm only gonna say baking the perfect sourdough because I don't really throw head kicks. Usually my opponents are a lot taller than me, so I usually don't go there.
Okay.
It's not pretty.
That looks pretty nice to me. Woo, look at that. What do you know about Sabrina Lorenzo?
The only thing that we really know is the footage that we saw from her past two fights. And, we're pretty familiar with the gym and camp that she comes out of. So it's more so, especially in the amateurs, there's so much development that happens in between fights. So even if you're comparing someone from the last footage that they had, it could be a year from the last time they fought. You can't put too much stock in the footage because they could get so much better. So we're just taking a lot of what we already know and basing it off of the game plan that we already had for Nicole and the things that she needed to improve upon. But we feel that we're the most prepared going into this fight than any other fight.
And it's so individual, and it's too, like, as a female, it can be really hard to get fights. So if you get offered a fight, like, I kind of want to take it because I don't know when the next one, especially in MMA, really tough to get matched.
How does it work? Does a promoter hit you up on Instagram or whatever and say, hey, trying to fight, or do you reach out to them?
So, like, either or. I think it also really comes down to your relationship, your coaches, your gym's relationship with the promoters and the matchmakers of these other organizations. So I got my first MMA fight because the matchmaker for Art of War Cage Fighting, Jillian Peterson, hi. Jillian Peterson has trained here, and she used to teach classes here. So she knew me, and when a girl wanted to fight, she asked me if I wanted to fight her because she knew about me. And then I have a really good relationship with Helen from Gut Check. She's the matchmaker for Gut Check. So anytime I want to fight, I say, Helen, like, I want to fight. Helen's great. She's usually able to get me matched up pretty quickly.
Nicole's a gamer, She's, aside from her being my wife, she's the only athlete I've ever coached that celebrates competition. So the mindset has never really been the problem. It's more so just managing expectations and also just understanding that it's okay if not everything goes well leading up to the fight. You have to trust the process and make sure that all your skills and weapons are going to be there come game day, come fight day, which she's pretty confident in right now. But coaching her psychologically has been the easiest thing. It's more so making sure that everything kind of lines up with her recovery and just making sure that she feels sharp. That way she can execute as good as she feels mentally. As a husband, if you see your wife get hit, like that kind of lizard brain part of you kind of kicks in, and
you want to get in there and
protect her. Hey, get your hands off my wife. So those are parts of it. I'm thankful that I'm the assistant coach, and there's our head coach Evan is really kind of the captain of the ship sometimes, because it feels left to me, I'd probably have like some nervous breakdowns. But it's been one of the most rewarding things I've ever had to do as a coach, just because I get to experience my wife's wins and losses, and just overcoming adversity on a deeper level.